Okay, we are live. Father Miller here. Welcome back to the Nerd Father. Glad to have our group with us again. Roman's not able to make it today. PJ, it's been a while.
Yes, it has been. I've been quiet online. You know me.
Oh,
Don't
it's
talk
okay.
a lot.
So, but I don't know what I have going on here yet this afternoon. I might have stations for the kids in about a little under 2 hours. I don't know yet. We had a death in the parish, so I'm gonna have to play that by ear.
Okie dokie.
So how's everyone?
Good.
Yeah, okay. Just ate a splendid dinner.
Ooh.
What is that?
Some comics.
Ooh.
You know what I saw today? You know what I saw today? I saw Luther today. It was on Netflix. You know, the movie version of it was really good. I recommend it. I mean, I don't know if you know who Luther is, Father.
I've heard of it. Wasn't it a British detective?
Yeah, Idris Elba plays him.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I think it went for 4. So basically, went for 2 seasons, a proper 2 seasons, and then because he got so famous, he did 1 season where it was like 5 episodes, and then I think it was the last one. It was only 4 episodes because he was so famous, and now they've made a movie version of the show. Basically, it's a cop horror. That's basically what it is. So. And the film version was very entertaining, very. I recommend it if you're going to watch it on Netflix. It's worth the watch. Very entertaining.
Well, the good thing is you've got Idris Elba. Yeah, I mean anything he's in is usually good.
Yeah. He was very good.
I've been doing a rewatch of The Thick of It because I made the mistake of trying to watch History of the World Part 2. And that is absolute garbage.
Yeah, I heard people watching it 5 minutes and going click.
Yeah, but hold on, Father. If you're watching The Thick of It, do you play the church lady every second when you're watching that? Like every second?
You know how many times, I know I've said it before, but I wanted Capaldi to go full Malcolm Tucker on a Dalek.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen, is it? Not anymore.
No.
Oh, we got a message from Roman. This is of the Empire has me on tasks.
No dear.
Oh, the new Jennifer Lawrence movie. I did hear about that. I don't know too much about it. It's basically she's trying to seduce a teenager, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, accordingly, she is a secret agent or an MI or a CIA agent, and whoever the guy is it Chris Pine or whatever?
No.
He's very.
Hold on. Are you talking about the right movie here?
That's what I was told.
She was paid to date somebody.
Didn't she do was it Red Sparrow? What's that one where she went for
Never saw it.
She was
she did that.
Where she about the Russians with the
yes,
judges and the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, remember, she was the first female action hero ever.
Well, exactly.
In the history of movies.
Yeah, I know. I tell you what, she looked very, very different when she dressed up as Xena, I must admit.
Yeah. So, but no, the trailer I saw was she was trying to seduce a teenager. She was getting paid to do it or something like that. That's the trailer I saw. I don't know which one you saw, PJ. It's a comedy.
I'd heard that that's what it was. The object of it. She was recruited to seduce a male. And I know the one about where the boy's sitting and she's standing over him, then the car gets towed away.
Yeah, and then he tries to throw a punch and he punches her in the throat. That's how the trailer ends, which I think is quite funny.
I was looking up the trailer. I had to find the non-red band. I'm afraid of that. So this is not a red band trailer.
Yeah, this is the trailer I saw.
I guess I'll take a look. Let's see what it says.
Hi. Mind if I touch your wiener?
What? Oh,
This is not the red band
order for asset seizures.
So they're taking my car?
You went radio silent on me.
Is that what this is about? Just last night, and I thought, I missed that fucker.
Is that true?
Okay. Church lady.
Yes.
Where's the church lady?
Church lady.
And you really do not want to know what I'm eating.
Shame.
We
No
won't be
doubt.
watching that. Honestly, that first whatever it is, I'm not interested.
Mm.
Yeah, I must admit.
I mean, okay, yeah, she dropped an F-bomb, but I gotta say, I don't. Normally, it doesn't bother me, but I mean, I love Peter Capaldi's Malcolm Tucker. I mean, who has a PhD in swearing. I can't play any of his clips on here because I'd definitely be a nonstop church lady. But, I mean, just that 30 seconds of it looks like crap.
I don't know. I saw the full trailer. It looks. I thought it was quite funny, so I might go and see it. Or if it ends up on streaming. Oh, Father, did you go and see Cocaine Bear? Was it any good?
I did. I thought I
Is it
said
good?
I enjoyed it.
Did you say that last week?
Yeah, I saw it last week. I
You
thought
know
I
what?
talked about it.
I couldn't remember what happened yesterday, let alone last week. So
No,
you
it's
enjoyed
fine.
it, did you?
It's a fun movie, but it's forgettable.
All right, okay. I might go and see it this week, actually.
I mean, is it over there now?
Yeah, it's over here now. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
The one actress I was surprised to see in it is Carrie Russell,
Oh, I haven't
She's in
seen her
it.
on screen in a long time.
but it's Ray Liotta.
Ray,
Yeah, you try saying that name 10 times
I
fast.
can't. I
Yeah.
can't. What's his name?
But he's actually really good in it.
All right, okay. This is his last movie, right?
It is.
Yeah. You seen anything good, PJ?
Not a thing. The best thing I've seen this week has been Coupling, the UK version.
Right. Gotcha.
Season 1 is one of my favourite comedies of all time. The first season of Stephen Moffat's Coupling has me rolling around.
All right.
Scottish. And I sat and watched the first 3 seasons. I never watched season 4. Season 4, Richard Cole left and they replaced him, and the dynamics just don't work. Kelly
Fair enough.
doesn't like it. She thought it was boring.
Coupling. I've never seen it. I've never
Is that the
seen
one
it.
that Friends is based on over here?
Yeah, I
It's
think
a-
it might be
it's
the
a-
one. Yeah.
A slightly more adult version of Friends. The same dynamics, 3 males, 3 females. You've got the one normal male, the one normal female, and then you've got 2 extremes of the males and 2 extremes of the females. And it's the whole dynamics between how males look at things and how females look at things. It's just so laugh out. Jeff, Richard Cole's character, is definitely the funniest character in it. He's a deviant, neurotic, scared of all women type of guy. And it's just funny. His rants he goes on.
Ooh.
So
Let's see. Here we go.
I would recommend seeing Coupling, not the US version. Not the US version.
That's funny.
I saw that. I saw
That's
that.
The world's gone mad, right? Absolutely crazy. It really is. How they would allow that to happen is just.
Well, did you not see what happened International Women's Day? 2 men were awarded International Women.
I saw that Joe Biden
Awards.
gave an award.
To who?
And accordingly, Joe Biden
trans.
did as well.
It's just terrible, isn't it? The world's
So
gone
basically,
crazy.
the best women are men, they're saying.
Okay, so I gotta ask: has anybody seen the M Power?
I saw on Friday Night Tights and on The Drinkers, but I must admit, I don't know anybody who agrees with it. My
What are we
nieces,
talking
my
about?
daughters, my nieces, and they
Oh, you
said
don't
it's
know
not for
about it?
them. Why would they actually want to have their kids actually look up to criminals?
Well, hold on. What are we talking about here?
Oh, we gotta
M
watch
Power.
this trailer then.
Oh,
Mm.
it's a 4-episode thing.
Here we go. Let me
It's a
bring it
documentary.
up. This is gonna be fun.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Which one? My answer is obviously the
Here we
M
go.
obviously stands for masculine.
We've never seen a world like this, populated with so many different faces and colors. It's a beautiful thing to see. About to show these boys how we do it.
We're all recognizing that these stories need to be told about women.
Wanda, her vulnerability in her emotional life is when she's at her most powerful.
It's important to recognize yourself. You could watch it and think, people that look like me, we can be superheroes too. It's so important for women to be behind the scenes as well. We need all those voices at the table. I learned when you are tested, you're stronger, taller, bigger than you thought.
I'm not interested in the glass ceiling. I'm interested in the brick wall. Because if I take down the brick wall, then we can redesign the building. And that's the only way to go forward.
We have the power to represent what the world looks like today.
We can take these characters' motivations and bring it into our own lives, and it empowers us.
Empower, a 4-part series now streaming only on Disney Plus.
It would only be on Disney Plus, wouldn't it?
But the thing is, a couple of people I saw said was, why would they want anybody to emulate Wanda, who kidnapped a load of people, or Miss Captain Marvel, who stole someone's bike because they wanted to? Or I mean, it's so why would they actually want their kids to actually grow up like criminals?
I mean, they even had on Disney's Facebook page, they had the women's stage, whatever it is, of all the Disney ladies. It included I don't remember her name, Hera, I think it is, from Thor.
Oh yeah.
The bad lady, whatever I can't remember which Thor it was.
It was the last one, the one before the TTTT one. Actually, no, it was the TTTT one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was still
at the end. Yeah.
Ragnarok.
Love and Thunder. No, not
Ragnarok.
Love and Thunder.
Ragnarok.
But that's what I'm saying. So people are saying, why would they want their kids to actually look up to evil people or criminals or people who just want to kidnap people because
the people who make these things actually don't realise that they're criminals and buggers. They actually think that these people are heroes because they don't actually understand the concept.
Yeah.
Right.
Accordingly, it's a 4-part documentary. Ian.
I won't be watching any of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know anybody, male or female, who actually are interested in it.
The thing is, though, it's really doing them a disservice because basically it's really showing young girls that you can get away with murder, but in real life it's not like that. Do you know what I mean? If you had an argument with a guy and you try to hit him, the guy's going to hit you. He's going to hit you and he's going to flatten you. Do you know what I mean? So you know, it's you can't. All that stuff is fantasy. Trying to apply that to real life, you've got another problem. You know what I mean? You've got you know. So it's teaching. Hollywood is just these days. They're basically. They really
Hollywood is full of deviants who think that it's okay to steal and.
Oh, he's frozen.
Oh, he froze.
He froze.
Okay, terrorize people. Chris Gore said to Gary, that's it. But Chris Gore said to Gary that he thought all Gary needed to do was just put some of his stuff at the beginning, and it would be like Neurotic had actually created that clip.
But you know what, right? It's a real problem because, as I said, right, what is this saying to young boys out there? What kind of message is it sending to young boys? And also remember that without men, in fact, without women and men, this world wouldn't be able to spin, would it? You know, no. But men do all the dirty work. That we literally hold up the world. You know, men. You know, you never see women doing, you know, the real nitty gritty or what men actually does. But that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is we both need each other. Men and women need each other. And we should be working together, not dividing us. Do you know what I mean? Like that. How
about this for division?
Yeah.
Well, there's another one. No. Kirk, did you see what the meme, the Legion of Memers did? They basically replaced it with all Kirk. So
yeah, I saw that.
The 5 middle ones all get replaced with Kirk faces.
But
all the different movies and TV show.
That's the reason why you shouldn't support the what is it, the Star Trek that we don't like. I mean, the Star Trek that they've got out, the Picard, the 3rd season's okay, but still after this, I think I'm done with Star Trek if they carry on like this. I'm pretty done with it.
I'm of the thing that if they've ruined it for 2 seasons, why would they go back to the 3rd?
Yeah.
Well, they've already ruined it, so I won't go back. So,
well, the thing is with me is actually, I only did it because the showrunner actually contacted me on Twitter, so that's why I'm watching it. Do you know what I mean? Because it was nice of him. You know, he's trying to be nice to the fans, which is a nice thing. So that's why I'm watching it. If he didn't do that, I'd never be watching it. never.
That's
So.
the new
It's
showrunner,
fair
right?
enough. It's the same idea as if somebody. It's like the Sonic one.
Mm.
The guy turns around and says, "Right, we've updated it based on what fans says. Give it a go." Even
Yeah.
though people who have probably not seen the new trailer, as soon as he said that, people went, "I'll go and see it, see what it's
Yeah.
like."
That's why I
Because-
did.
That's what I did as well. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And it is that aspect of it. If somebody's actually turns around and says, "Listen, we made a mistake, we're trying to correct it," that's one thing. But when they turn around and actually just act as if, right, now you need to watch it now. No.
It's not that, right? Women don't understand. All those people in that trailer don't understand that there's a certain faction of the left that's trying to destroy women, and they're just playing into their hands. So
Yes,
good
of
luck.
course they are.
Good luck.
It shows how bad they're destroying women by giving men international women's trophies.
It's really stupid. It really.
It is.
Women are not in trouble when it comes to things in the world. They really are not. In fact, they've got more of an advantage than men if you look at it carefully. So I don't know. It's up to them what they do anyway. You know.
I found out somebody had actually told me why they were actually doing this 4-part documentary with all the women, because it was cheaper. Because obviously, if they wanted to do it for guys, it would be more expensive. Because when you get paid less. So they're
I
doing
don't know.
Yeah.
I
They
don't
get
know.
it for 75% of
Forget
what
a
they
witch.
have to pay for the men.
I think the idea of if you're gonna make a female superheroine, then you got to have a female director, you got to have a female crew. That's absolute nonsense. You get the best person for the role. Do you know what I mean? No matter what their gender is. So
Oh,
but they're not listening. This is a guy, right?
oh dear Lord. Father, I'm eating here.
Trigger warning.
Why are we watching this? Why are we?
Well,
watching
because we're talking about women.
This is ridiculous.
Oh.
This is not even a woman. So yeah, whatever. I don't know. I don't really care anymore. So good luck to them all. They can do whatever they want as long as they don't interfere with my life. It's fine.
No, don't come to Scotland because you're not allowed to actually say things like that.
But you've just done.
They don't expect you to make any money though.
No, don't be silly. Money's actually, I mean, that's capitalist thinking.
I'm trying to find the meme. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I'll bring this up. This is perfect, especially for what's going on right now. Let me bring that. There we go.
It's true that there are better things we want women to hear. Well, it's like, well. Anybody see the Chris Rock concert?
I read about it.
I saw bits of it. I just saw some of the clips.
Do you know what? Right, you can tell he was really angry at the ending after 2 years of waiting to say something about
no, it was last
Will
year.
Smith.
This was last year.
Yeah. After waiting a whole year. Sorry, I stand corrected. Sit corrected. In fact, he said all that stuff about Will Smith, which was quite funny. Then he drops the mic and he walks off the stage. You can tell he pushed all his anger out at that last bit of the.
And accordingly, it made Will Smith very upset and hurt.
Well, he's playing the victim, isn't he? He's playing the victim when basically he's not. You know. So, but he's right. He said, his wife had an affair with his son's friend, and actually told him in his face on video on YouTube where millions are watching. What kind of a woman is that? What kind of a woman would do that? That's a horrible person. It's a horrible person, and he's still with her. So, and she's still doing that stuff. So it's just horrible. What can you do?
Oh, come on. This browser's going slow.
But most of them are horrible people.
Well, Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say most of them. There are some decent people out there. There are some decent.
No,
people,
I mean most of the people pushing this.
Pushing.
I just love the headline of
If
this.
we use Kevin's college fund, we can afford this house.
House Whisperer.
This house says use
I hate these
Realtor.com to
commercials.
find options within your budget.
There we Come
Good
on.
luck, everyone. Realtor.com.
So when you open up an ad over in England, does it play a British ad or is it an American ad?
British.
British ad.
So this would be a British ad if it was over in England.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you've got an ad blocker.
Yeah.
I got a VPN on right now.
Yeah, I've got my VPN on and an ad blocker.
The thing is, though, I think Will Smith should apologize, and he's not doing that. Just goes to show how arrogant he is. In fact, when he went on, I can't remember what talk show he went on. Everything he said, it sounded like he was sorry, but if you listen to what he was saying, he wasn't sorry at all.
Of course not.
So it's a shame, really, because I used to like Will Smith, but I think now I can't like him now because of what he's did, and he hasn't apologized. It's a horrible thing for him to do. You know, he should apologize because he was definitely in the wrong. You know, so
they would say he already did or something via Instagram.
No, he didn't.
Not really. Oh,
he didn't. He didn't.
He said words that sounded as if he was apologising, but all he was doing was just digging it in even deeper, as if he was sorry it had to come to that. But Chris made him type of thing, so it wasn't apologising.
No.
He was just apologising because Chris made him do it.
Yeah.
Will they get the South Park treatment?
Did he get the South Park treatment?
No. Will they?
I don't know. I don't know. I hope so. I just think it's a horrible thing to do, really, isn't it? In front of millions of people.
You saying about the apologies. It reminds me. There's a great bit at the end of one of the greatest science fiction series ever, Babylon 5. There's a bit where the hero is recalled to his post.
Is he gone?
Again, what you expect me? Yeah, there's a bit where the captain's supposed to make an apology for opening fire on another supposedly friendly spacecraft, and he's coming out. He's done his apology and he says, "I'm sorry, I opened fire," and he's talking to himself, practicing it, thinking himself, "It's just, and I'm sorry, your captain was so stupid enough as to make me open this sort of thing." You know, which what reminds me of almost what Will Smith sounds if he's doing is, making excuses. Whereas in Sheridan's case, of course, Sheridan was right, but
just reminded me of the line. Like I said, I've been rewatching the thick of it, so it just is reminding me of when Glenn goes before one of the councils and does this word salad.
Well, it's just that the world's gone crazy. I saw something on YouTube where this woman asked this guy, is it right? Because like he was putting all these laws in, I can't remember which part of America it was, and she said, "Is it right that teachers can take the children if they think they are LGB, whatever? Is it right that the teachers can take their kids from their parents?" And he wouldn't answer the question. He kept saying things like, "I think the rights of all Americans should be upheld." And it's like, no, that's not the question I asked you. Do you think that's right? Yes or no? And he still wouldn't answer it. So I think it's ridiculous, really. But then again, politicians have always been like that anyway. So
yeah, politicians. Why give an actual answer when actually obfuscation could actually do just as well?
And the most frustrating thing about it is the person that was asking the question has to maintain his or her attitude towards the scene. He can't go off on one, then he'll look stupid or she'll look stupid, and that's the problem, isn't it? If the person's not going to answer the question, then what's the point of even asking it? He's not going to answer the question. So
see, to me, then if they don't answer the question, then they're answering in the negative and say, so because you're not answering it, you're meaning yes, but you don't want to say that.
Yeah, of course he doesn't.
That's basically what they should tell them. So they have to turn around and say, no, I didn't mean that. So just assume that's what they mean and just tell them that's what they mean.
But officially they haven't said it though. That's the thing. They haven't said yes or no.
I know, but if you basically say the fact that you're not wanting to answer it means you agree with it, so you're saying yes by not answering it, and then they have to come around and say either yes or no, or else if they keep not answering it, in effect, you're saying to the people, because he's not answering it, this is what he believes, but he doesn't want to say it to people's faces.
Yeah, I know that. It doesn't help, though.
I know it doesn't. But then again,
you can see
always
the
tell when
reverse.
a politician's lying. Their mouth's open.
Sorry, Archer.
I'll say you can see almost the reverse, exact same thing, almost in reverse. I don't know if any of you've caught. I mean, I've watched a couple of bits from the. Is it the Senate or the which everyone has just been questioning the
I know what one you're talking about.
the journalist that put the Twitter
the
files and the
house.
rest of it, the house. And to go next, and the way they framed it and what one of the ladies was saying, you know, oh, so by saying this, you're saying that he was just no. Well, anybody would imply it. Well, and I love it when the journalist goes back and says, well, you're free to think that if you want to. I know, but it's exactly the same sort of thing, reversed, where they're asking the questions rather than asking them.
I don't know.
So,
it's a complicated world we live in. It's gotten even worse.
Yeah, it's just going to play this clip from What We Do in the Shadows because it got Glenn Cullen on, and Glenn Cullen, the actor who played him, got into trouble, didn't he?
I don't know. I don't even know what this is.
Well, that's the other guy from the thick of it, the secretary in the first one, or the minister in the first one. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and play this
All
first.
I can say right now is shame, 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 shame.
Because there's a no word in this.
I am. Sean has been done an injustice, and I won't stand for it. Luckily for him, I am no stranger to the song and dance of the courtroom. For I myself used to be a barrister on the Queen's Bench, mainly representing myself for crimes such as soliciting and pornography. But I've mainly defended a lot of hogs and horses.
What is this, some kind of Hamilton thing?
Your Honor, if I may, New York State Statute 82 clearly states that legal counsel's attire cannot be discriminated against.
All right, fine.
Oh yeah, I Googled that this morning when I saw him in that old lady's wig. My only other duty as his de facto paralegal seems to be hauling around his file boxes, which, between you and me, mostly contain pornography.
Now, my lords, ladies, and gentlemen, I feel a huge injustice has occurred here today, and it needs addressing.
And what's that?
Well, this chap has the hair of a paedophile. I've got to be honest, I haven't stepped inside the court.
Matt Berry is a legend.
He is.
What We Did in the Shadows, it came from the movie with Taika Waititi, and I enjoyed it. I'd never heard of it when Dology had recommended it, and I loved it. I thought it was just so well done.
So have you seen the series then?
Yes. I really enjoyed it. So the movie and then the series, I thought was funny. The energy vampire is the funniest thing in it. I know a few people like that.
Has anybody watching Mandalorian or Star Trek or?
Yes,
unfortunately. What do you think, guys?
Well, for me, he's the only one who's watched it. I mean, Picard was quite interesting yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
It was, especially the way they took out that changeling in the end. But
yeah,
Mandalorian, it's slightly improved after last week's episode.
You reckon?
Well,
I thought it was absolute rubbish.
reckon it's just, I'm a fan of Bo-Katan. That's the thing.
Okay.
yeah. Well, I followed Rebels. I followed the Clone Wars. And I like diving into the whole history of this.
All right. Well, I mean, I saw. I mean, I've seen. Was it 3 episodes of Mandalorian? Is it 3 episodes? Or was it 2?
It's 2 at the moment.
But yeah, I've seen two of them, and it just none of it makes any sense to me. The things he does, he's so dumb. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, I don't know if you guys watch it. Do you watch it?
I'm just sick of seeing him because they're hyping it between this and The Last of Us.
Absolute nonsense.
I basically just listen to Roman moan about it all the time. He watches Last of Us and he's watching The Mandalorian.
I haven't watched The Last of Us. I haven't watched it. I should start watching it actually, but I haven't got the time. No.
Even people who enjoy the game and think there is parts of this that are good. The biggest one I've heard from a number of people is it's a zombie movie. It's a zombie TV show. And so far, I think they've seen a couple of zombies, maybe 1 or 2 episodes, and that's it. And it's already at episode 7 or 8, and they've only had a couple of zombies in it. It's all released.
I think
I'm just sick of hearing the news about how Nick Offerman had a lover, and now that the girl, and yes, she is a girl, and that whatever the other girl in the last episode were having a love affair or something.
Are you talking about Last of Us? Because I don't watch it, but yeah. Okay. I heard that two men with beards kissed in The Last of Us. I heard that.
That's Nick Offerman.
I don't know who that is, but hey.
He is from Parks and Rec.
Oh, is he?
I think he's.
Yeah.
I know I played Parks and Rec on here before.
Yeah, you have. I've seen the show. I've seen a couple of episodes, whatever. It didn't really grab me, but how comes there's? I mean, no disrespect to gay people out there, but I've been noticing there's a lot of gay stuff on TV. There really is quite a lot. I mean, I don't begrudge it or anything like that, but I do find it a bit weird that there is every show I've watched so far has got something that's gay in it. So
I think someone was saying of 5 or 6 episodes of The Mandalorian, not The Mandalorian, of The Last of Us, 2 of them have been specifically to do with the gay relationships. Now, I mean, I was watching our friend in the Eastern Med in Israel reviews of these, and he was the rabbi, and he was saying from what he was saying, it sounded, as someone who's not interested, but as not watching it, that the 2 male lovers gay episode sounded as if it was probably quite a good story and drama, but it just didn't belong in the series. It could have been on.
They said it was a hook. It was to hook them in. They did it or whatever. I mean, it wasn't. That was the whole point. It's just to draw them in with a non-story.
Well, the thing is, as well, did the producer or director not actually say that they're making it as good as they can because they want to draw people in so they can actually put these stories in?
I don't mind the gay element in stories if it's doesn't impose into the storytelling. I don't mind it at all because we do live in a world.
The attitude is I hate relationships in certain types of movies. Judge Dredd, the Sylvester Stallone one, hated the relationship they tried to put between him and Hershey. And I'm sitting there thinking, doesn't fit in the genre. It's that type of thing. If there's a relationship aspect of certain things, it works in certain genres. But if you've got a genre that it doesn't work in, putting it in just sort of ruins it. Doesn't matter if it's straight or gay. I don't care about relationships in certain genres. So if I'm watching a dystopian one, the relationships are not what I'm watching it for, and I've no interest in watching it.
I don't mind if they have a gay relationship in it, as long as it's not shoved in your face or that has a huge impact on the story and stuff like that. As long as they're not doing that, it's fine. Because I said we live in a world where there are gay people that exist and stuff like
That's what I'm saying.
That's
and
fine.
To me, it's relationships in general. So I hated it with a couple of movies where they've got a relationship, male and female, and I hated that as well.
Just like the gay people can say, we need more gay stuff on screen. I can say I don't like watching 2 men with beards kiss. Why am I not allowed to say that? I can say that if I want to. Do you know what I mean? So it just for me personally, I kind of wince when I see stuff like that. But that's not me saying it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying it's not my thing. Do you know what I mean? It makes me wince when I see things like that on screen. So I don't know.
It's the same as when, remember in the 70s, 80s, you would be watching a movie and then suddenly there's a sex scene in it. And you're sitting there thinking, what's this got to do with the way the movie's going? Because they've just put it in just because. Yeah. And it's that as well. I hated that as well.
Especially if you're sitting with your parents.
Yeah. Even if I was sitting on my Todd, I hate certain things in certain genres because they don't work. There's certain things like, I remember Fatal Attraction, right? There was a relationship in it. There was a lot of sex and nudity in it, and it worked because it was to do with that relationship and how toxic it was and how it ended up. It worked there. But when you've got, like Judge Dredd, them trying to put a relationship between them, and you're sitting there thinking, I don't care.
No, but
it's that aspect of it. So it doesn't matter if it's straight or gay. don't care. Just keep relationships.
But in the old days, it was the kind of thing that would sell that would shift DVDs. If you had a bit of nudity in your horror films and stuff like that, then it shifts DVDs off the shelves. But I don't know about today because it's completely changed, you know. So, you know, I remember directing a horror film and the producer kept saying to me, "Why don't you tell the actress that she needs to be topless?" And I'm like, I'm not going to tell the actress needs to be topless. You're the producer. You tell the actress. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it's you know, it was pushed when I was directing. It was pushed on me that we had to have those certain things. In the end, we didn't because it wasn't in the script. But because he was the producer and he knew at that time during the 80s that slasher movie sold, he wanted to have the certain things in the slasher movie. But he didn't have the guts to tell the actress. And it wasn't going to be me that was going to tell the actress. I told you straight, that's not going to be me. Because that is not my problem. I'm directing what's written on the script.
That's what I'm saying. Even there's certain genres just don't lend themselves to certain things.
Yeah.
And I hate seeing it in it. And that's the thing. So if I was to watch a zombie movie, I'm not going to be watching one that's got a lot of relationships. I want to watch the zombie movie, the zombie aspect of it. So why have a zombie movie when there's hardly any zombies in it? To me, that just rules it out.
Is that the Last of Us? Is that what happens in The Last of Us? All right.
Yep.
Okay. I haven't
got into The Walking Dead.
I like The Walking Dead. I like the first 3 seasons.
At the beginning, I thought
Dead.
The Walking Dead was interesting, and then it got to the relationships and how. Oh, believe it or not, the zombies aren't the bad thing; it's people, and then it's groups meeting groups, and then the zombies are a side note, and that's when I just went, hey, I'm out. I just don't want to
I think that happened round about the 4th season, I think. But the first 3 seasons were really riveting, I found. But
because it was all to do with the zombie apocalypse and them surviving. As soon as it goes away from that, they're suddenly turning around and saying, well, zombies aren't as scary now. Let's bring in people. Then it's not a zombie apocalypse anymore.
Yeah, but I think they did the right thing because it kept the audience there when they introduced certain characters and they were bad and stuff like that. Because you're right, because you can't, you know, the first 3 seasons it was unique. The zombies running around biting people, and then if you have like another season of that, you got to give them something new. So that was their conclusion: make people more evil. Yeah, and the zombies are just they just live in a zombie world. But maybe I don't know if you ever watched the show. Do you remember that scene where the little girl goes missing? And then I think it was a second,
the barn door opens. And
the barn, and she was, that was heartbreaking.
To me, I think it was around about that point. It was the next after that. I just stopped watching it because it just seemed to be a case of the zombies aren't the big bad anymore, so they're just a side character.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of liked it.
And that's when I stopped watching it because of that. But it's the same idea. If I'm watching a martial arts movie and there's no martial arts in it, I'm not interested. It's because I'm watching certain genres for certain things. And if they try and change the genre, then I'm out.
That was one of the reasons why I didn't like Kill Bill so much, because they bigged up saying, "Oh, it's a martial arts thing," you know. And when I watched it, there was hardly any kung fu in it. It was just swordplay.
I've actually grown to love Tarantino's films, but I still can't get into Kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
Kill Bill, I like certain parts of it, but I didn't. I'm not a big fan of a lot of Tarantino stuff.
I do like
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I like that. It was all right.
That movie, I love that movie.
Yeah, it was all right. I liked it.
I still can't
get over it. One I must admit, a Tarantino one I liked was it How Many Days of Summer or something like that? Was that the one they were down in Mexico and it was the vampires?
That wasn't his film. That wasn't his film.
I co-wrote it.
That was that was Rodriguez's film.
Well, what about Inglourious Illegitimate Children?
What's that?
That's good.
Which one?
Glorious and Illegitimate Children.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Hated. Absolutely.
You hated that?
Yeah, I thought it was very silly.
Hated it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a what if, and it's sorry, when you change history, even in the glorious way.
It's a fun type of changing.
Yeah.
No, I just thought it was just basically, it's like you, 571, hated that as well.
Oh. Well,
but he
Talks
did
about the submarine.
in Once Upon a Time in
1953.
Hollywood. He did change the end of that as well, didn't
Oh,
he?
yes, he did.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I
Big
was going to
change.
bring up Reservoir Dogs because I still can't get that song out of my head, stuck in the middle with you.
Yeah. I do like Reservoir Dogs. It was
Yeah.
a good movie.
Coupling
really
has a scene when they're all doing their Reservoir Dogs at a funeral. So there is basically you hear the music and you see the three guys walking dead slow with the glasses on and the music and playing their cigarettes, and then one of the girls shouts up and says, "You three stop playing Reservoir Dogs," and they go and then across the road. It's basically because it's Moffat obviously is a fan of TV because there's bits about Green Arrows, there's bits about Daleks, there's Reservoir Dogs. It just does wee clips from different things. And that's why I enjoy Coupling, because he just takes something that everybody knows and he just plays with it. And it's fun.
I just want to bring up Pulp Fiction. That was absolutely brilliant how they did that story. 'Cause
It was.
It wasn't like in the right order, was it?
No, and the only thing I didn't like about Pulp Fiction was Bruce Willis's story. Oh my God. When they were talking in that room, they went on forever. I was
know.
like, get on with it.
Did they really need Bruce Willis in that story?
Well, Bruce Willis wanted to play Vincent Vega. Did you hear the story behind this?
No.
So Bruce Willis, Tarantino was at a party, right?
Mhm.
And Bruce Willis came up to him and he said, "I hear that you're making the film. I want to read the script." So he sent the script to Bruce Willis, and the very next day, Bruce Willis rang him up and he said, "You know what? I think I'll be perfect as Vincent." And so obviously Tarantino had John Travolta in mind, right, to play
Yeah.
Vincent. And then he said, "Well, no, I've already cast that. I want so-and-so to play." And Bruce Willis was like, "Well, come down to my house and we'll discuss it." So Tarantino went down to his house and they spent hours talking about it. And Bruce Willis said to him, "Go away and think about it." And at the time, he was getting pressure from Weinstein and Weinstein saying,
Yeah.
"Look, Bruce Willis is the biggest star in the world. To have him, it's going to be amazing." But Tarantino stuck to his gun. He was like, "You know what? Bruce is not right for that part. He is not right for that part." So everybody sort of like said, "Fine, do what you have to do." He went back to Bruce Willis and he said, "Look, I'm sorry. I don't think you're right for the part. I really am sorry." And he said, "Why don't you think of the Butch part?" And Bruce Willis was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, I think you'd be really good in the Butch part." Anyway, a couple of weeks go by, he rings him back up and he's like, "I'll do the Butch part." Do you know what I mean? So it's good that Tarantino stuck to his guns, because if it was me and they said Bruce Willis, I'd be like, "Okay, fine." Do you know what I mean? Let's just get Bruce Willis in there. But Tarantino, yeah.
I don't, the scene that got me was where Vince Vega and Jules Winford accidentally blew that kid's brains
Oh,
and
yeah,
made
yeah.
her clean out the car.
Yeah.
And the way they're dressed in the end.
It's a very good film.
Yeah.
You
So
don't know what's happening.
the guy who came out of the kitchen with a gun, was it full of blanks and the holes were already behind him?
Yeah,
And that's
that so basically there's loads of things in there that Tarantino explained. He said, "You don't know what's in the case." He said, "But if he showed you what was in the case, right?
Yeah.
Then it would basically tell you well, look, if he shows you what's in the case, it'll tell you what's in the case, right? But what he wanted to do was not show you what's in the case. Therefore, you'd make up something in your mind of what was in the case, and that will be your own private movie."
Yeah,
That's the way he sees
That's
it.
why every time they open the case, you saw the glowing
Yeah.
gold light, and you think,
Yeah.
what is in it?
And it's the same thing in Inglorious, whatever, right?
Illegitimate Children.
So one of the guys had a rope burn around his neck.
Yeah.
But it was never explained in the film. But that was Tarantino saying, make up your own story about how he got that. That's your private story. So he puts things in there so you can make it up in your head.
So he probably
Genius.
tried to play the guy from NXS and went, but lived.
I don't know that.
The guy that basically hung himself.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But he's a genius filmmaker. He knows exactly what he wants. And somebody said to him, "Do you ever watch your films?" And he went, "Yes, I made the films for me." So he watches his own films. So there you go.
Well, he's got one more film to do, and that's it. He's finished.
Well, he's going to make a TV show, isn't he? He's writing
Is
a
he?
TV show at the moment. Yeah. He hasn't finished it yet, but he's writing a TV show. A lot of people are interested. He's going to stop making movies because this is where he should stop, he says. So we'll see.
I know he wanted to do. He had a crack at Star Trek, but you know what happened now.
Yeah, they got rid of him, didn't they?
Yeah, it's stupid.
He was saying that when he met Spielberg. Spielberg said to him, "Do you want to come duck hunting with me?" And so he went duck hunting 9 o'clock in the morning with Steven Spielberg. And as they were walking around, Spielberg said to him, "This was before the Oscars for Pulp Fiction." Spielberg said to him, "You're definitely going to win the screenplay, screenplay Oscar. So be prepared." He said to him. So there you go. So Spielberg knew he was going to win it. He was going to win the Oscar. So there you go. And he did. And
Is anybody going to watch it Sunday?
No.
Oh, that's the highlight of my year.
I can't be bothered with
Besides Jimmy Kimmel hosting and just not interested.
I loved it. I loved it. The fact is they put all the categories, they decategorized it so you didn't have best actor, best actress, and it was all males at one.
Wait, for the Oscars? I knew that they did that with BAFTA, I thought.
Was it the BAFTAs? But it's things
all
like
white
that.
men as well, wasn't it?
They turn around and say, to make it fair and everybody, we're going to take away the categories. And then it's all one group, and they're sitting there going,
a bunch of idiots.
I just can't be bothered with award ceremonies and all that because it's
I've never liked the award ceremonies because to me, look at us, aren't we great? Pat ourselves in the back. I would rather actually sit down, talk to someone about their.
Well, the thing is, the Oscars was always political. I mean, when Steven Spielberg made Jaws, he wasn't even nominated for director. Would you believe that? Because he was too young. They basically they snubbed him because they thought he was too young. Apparently, it turned out.
And he was on the edge of a nervous breakdown.
Well, he ran away from Jaws, didn't he?
Yeah.
So when he directed the very last scene of Jaws, he literally got into a car, drove to the airport, and flew away because they usually have a rap party. But he knew they're going to lynch him because he spent so much time shooting that film, so he just ran away basically. So
the greatest thing is it was great not seeing the shark in the beginning.
That's right. Yeah.
As soon as you saw the shark properly, saw the shark. It sort of ruined the shark. Whereas it gliding under the boat, where it's just the silhouette in the distance or underwater, it looked great. It built tension.
Yeah, I saw this funny picture once of two guys in a fishing boat, and they're going, "Where's that eerie sound coming from?" And there's a shark underneath.
Do you know what? Right. The reason why they hated Spielberg so much is because Spielberg insisted in shooting it in the real, in the what is it, the ocean. He insisted in shooting the whole thing in the ocean when everybody was saying to him, "Shoot it in the studio with back projection and stuff like that." And he said he learned his lesson from Duel because the producer when he made Duel, the producer was saying to him, "What you doing, kid? You're going out to the road and shooting with the camera in the road when you could spend a whole." A week in a studio. Do you know what I mean? And so that's why I had to go at him, basically. Yeah. Oh, right.
I don't remember why I decided to bring that up.
I like that. That's a Disney Plus I would watch.
Yes.
Anybody going to watch Little Mermaid when it comes out?
Nope.
No.
I rather watch the original.
I've got the original Disney animation one on
the
my shelf.
The original I rather watch.
Yeah,
never saw the original either.
What do you guys think of them changing April O'Neil? But do you know what? April O'Neil was black originally.
Was she?
Yeah, in the comics.
I'll be honest, I never really cared for
Did you not see the breakdown of that one? I thought it showed it a lot better, and it was a case of they made her black, but guess what? It was unimportant.
Yeah, it wasn't.
She was a hard-hitting news reporter.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an issue. But until they started making it an issue, but when they put it on the TV, it was the same idea. They didn't think anything. They just drew it the way they wanted to because they were looking at a particular look for the show.
Yeah.
Sorry, Colin.
I was never a fan of the TMNT or Hero Turtles as they were over here. passed me by because I was just aged out of it, if you know what I'm saying. But struck me, okay, fine. If you want to do this, right, okay. Bring in a new character, make her April O'Neil's, make her the Turtles version of Jimmy Olsen, right? So she's a cub reporter, a trainee reporter, April's apprentice maybe, and then you can have your new character, and you still, still the same things. She'll still learn from April, so she'll have a lot of April's attitudes.
Yeah,
and you can just bring in a new character.
Well, I was going to ask your guys' opinion. Do you think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles needs to be rested for a while? Because I think it's been going on for so long.
I do. Look, you know what? Right, there was something about the remake that what's his name? The guy who did the remake on screen. I was in the cinema. The last ones, the last Teenage Mutant. It was Michael Bay, wasn't it? Michael Bay.
Yeah.
So the point I'm trying to make is right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is for kids mostly, okay. But when they brought it back, those turtles were a lot larger, a lot uglier, and if you look at the Jim Henderson version, they were kind of cute, weren't they?
I know.
And, that kind of thing. And this version, they just look really ugly. And had noses as well.
The thing is, they cheated with CG compared to the workmanship they put in the original.
Yeah. No,
Wasn't one of them now wearing glasses? I thought I saw somewhere.
Yeah,
as well.
Donatello.
Or
because he's brainier.
Yeah, the only way you can show someone's brainy nowadays is put glasses on them. Isn't that right, Ian?
Of course, me and father. I mean,
Where's my glasses? Where's my glasses?
You're the only one not.
That's only because I'm mid-range. I don't need them. I've got a pair of glasses for reading, and I've got a pair of glasses for distance. Right in the middle with my computer, I don't need glasses. So.
Oh, really?
Aye.
I definitely need glasses to look at my computer. Definitely.
No, my computer's at just by arm's length. Anything.
No, mine's arm's length.
When I'm doing my comics, I need my reading glasses.
So PJ, I was going to show you. I don't know if you saw I'm going to bring up one of the comics I just picked up last week.
Have a look. Ooh.
Let's kick. Now that looks. This is the face of the enemy.
What's that one about?
Saga of World War I, as seen through the enemy eyes.
Oh, okay.
And then there was the other one of it. Oh, I don't have it with me. I now have the whole series. It was only a 6-issue series.
I picked up a couple last week. These were at the Comic-Con. I picked up this one.
Oh, yeah, good.
Flashpoint. Oh, Flashpoint.
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah, so I picked up that. So I'm going to have a go at that one. But I picked up a couple of new guys.
What's that one?
Clockwork Cavalier. It's basically a Clockwork guy. Basically, during with the Bow Street Runners, so it's a detective. They don't class it as cyberpunk. It's pre-cyberpunk. So whatever that genre is, complete clockpunk adventures.
Never heard of it.
Clockwork rather than cyberpunk.
Yeah, I'll show you the one that I also picked up.
Steampunk. Will that be?
So this is the. Here we go. The first issue of it.
Right.
Very good.
Then I also picked up the Wedding album,
which is completely white.
Well, for $2.
That's a privilege. You should check their privilege at the door before you got that white comic.
that's because Superman obviously lined the hotel room with lead.
Ooh, Judge Dredd.
Yeah,
I don't know. I hate it when Judge Dredd became that. Is that bigger than the DC comics? That one.
No.
I hate it when it became that size. I prefer original Judge Dredd.
I prefer the paper one. I must admit.
So do I. So do I.
I do prefer the paper ones, but I couldn't resist it because it was graded as well.
I've got a load of Judge Dredds in my basement, And Tank Girls. I used to read Tank Girl when it came out. I love Tank
I
Girl.
loved the movie Tank Girl, but
I hated that movie. Oh, that was rubbish.
I see, because it was so quirky, and it got me to read a couple of Tank Girls, and reading it just didn't come across the same. I just don't know.
You can't make Tank Girl the way they've done it in the comics into a movie. It's impossible.
Yeah.
There's things they do in the comics you just can't do.
Of course,
you know?
it's the same across the board for anything.
No, not really.
I can't see it when it comes to. I picked up a new guy.
What's
Beasts
this
of
one?
War. Etienne. I'm not going to try and pronounce his surname, but Scotland's first black superhero.
Excellent.
So I bought I've got the first three, and I'm looking forward to them. It's basically, I was walking about and I had my ISOM t-shirt on, and he goes, "That's who I want to be like."
Oh,
So he did. So we were sitting gabbing for a wee while, and he's a really nice guy. And it looks as if I've had a quick look through. The artwork is amazing on these stuff. It's the story. It's basically Scotland's first black superhero. I'm looking forward to.
Who's Scotland's first superhero?
Oh, that would be Supergran.
What? Not William Wallace.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Supergran. It was basically Molly Weir. Supergran.
Yeah, I remember that. Supergran was Scotland's first superhero. Come on,
Yep.
there's got to be someone else, surely.
That was Scotland.
Wasn't Super Ted British?
Yeah, he's
Super
British.
Ted was British. So was Banana Man.
Yeah, they're both British. Yeah, Banana Man was funny.
Yeah, voiced by the Goodies.
Goodies, yeah, the Goodies. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah.
They did this as well. There's 4 in this series, but I only picked up 2 because I caught Storm Hunter. It is like a kaiju's in Britain, and they're fought by these guys who can summon fantasy creatures to fight them. So it's basically along that line. And then this one here is about Britain's the world's only superhero is missing, and MI7 is sent out to try and retrieve him because this guy's appeared and he's causing havoc, and the only person that can defeat him is the superhero because there is only one and he's disappeared.
Looks like Gary Beekler.
There's 4 in this series, so I'm very particular, as Roman will tell you, that when it comes to, I go to the guy and I say, right, tell me about your comic, and he goes, well, it's about this. I say, before we start, it has to, your heroes have to be heroes, your villains have to be villains. I don't like grey areas. He goes, right, you'll not like those two.
I must
he basically says you'll not like those two.
I must apologise to the Americans if you don't understand what PJ's saying. I'm sorry. Nor do I. So basically,
I was just gonna say I'm reading Watchmen for the first time.
How dare you?
I've got Watchmen. I was showing Roman. I've got Watchmen, and it's the book has never been cracked because I do not like Watchmen.
I do like the comic. I thought the comic was pretty good.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Because there's grey areas. It's the same as The Boys, the TV show. I love Carol Urbane, and I watched it, and within a half an hour, I switched it off.
You're a hard man to please, PJ.
Villains to be villains. I don't like grey areas, so.
So who's I think who's the first British superhero then? Is it Captain Britain?
I think so.
I would say Robin Hood.
Dan Dare?
Well, he's not a superhero. Come on.
He's as much a superhero as Batman.
He's a hero, not a superhero.
He's a hero.
I suppose it depends.
Batman is a superhero. He's not getting any superpowers.
Was Dan Dare British?
Dan Dare was British, but he wasn't a superhero.
Down the line of Dan Dare, yeah.
Yeah, Dan Dare's British. Yeah. So Dan Dare's kind of like a superhero, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about superhero that's dressed up in, in a costume and flies.
I think it must be Captain Britain.
It's got to be Captain Britain, isn't it?
If you mean over the top, as opposed to superpowers, yeah. I mean, Dan Dare didn't really dress up, did he? He was in his uniform, so and he was the pilot of the future.
Yeah, he was.
So would
Yeah,
Peggy
but then again,
Carter count?
it really depends.
What's
on
that?
The
Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter.
She's
I mean,
British.
Jennifer Lawrence.
That's right. She's always the answer.
Yeah, well,
Jennifer Lawrence's Boudica.
Thing is,
She
though,
didn't
she
come from
was.
Adam's rib. Adam came from her rib.
But was she was basically was Peggy Carter created in the comics? Did she become Captain America in the comics?
Don't think so.
No, I think only with the what ifs. I don't think she was.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So really, she isn't really. So that's just a side thing,
Well,
isn't it?
When was Captain Britain created?
Ginny, 80s was it, PJ?
Because you could say Sergeant. Well, no, Sergeant Fury wouldn't be a superhero because they had Pinky in it.
If you go,
British power.
I think it was about 84.
84.
I'm sure it was something like 84. But I'm trying to think.
I don't know any British superhero, to tell you the truth.
1976.
83 was Judge Dredd. So you had.
But Judge Dredd's American.
No, it was a British comic.
I know it's a British comic, but he's American. I'm talking
Yes,
about.
but you had the 2000 AD. So you would have. Johnny Alpha was in Star-Lord, and that was out just about the same time, and it got bought over by 2000 AD. But you would have had things like not Sam Slade, but you had Mac Zero would have been the first one.
You reckon?
Because that would have been 83. Mac Zero.
I've got the answer here. Captain Britain came out in 1976.
So it was a good 8 years before, a good 7-8 years before Mac Zero.
And it was also released with Union Jack, who was part of the Invaders.
Yep.
If you're limited, if you're limited, I would say, depending upon your definitions, again, the Tomorrow People, the original Tomorrow People, 1973.
They're not superheroes, though. They're
Prince Harry?
Comics wise.
It depends on what you'd want in a superhero. I mean, they've got superhuman powers.
I'm talking about traditional superheroes that wears costumes and flies and has
Prince
loads of
Harry.
muscles and stuff like that. That's basically the definition of a superhero.
Okay,
Isn't it?
okay, fair enough. No, I'm not okay. If you're going, but as I said, depends on your definitions. Yeah.
So it was Captain Britain.
Mighty
Probably
Mouse.
Captain Britain. Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse is American.
Danger Mouse.
It's a British character. If you're going Judge Dredd that way,
Funny enough, I am going. Speaking about Danger Mouse, probably next month I am going to look for the post box Danger Mouse lived in. Because there's a blue
Man,
there's a
also
blue
called
plaque.
Miracle Man, British comic strip superhero created by Mick Angelo in 1954.
Miracle
Character
Man.
is regarded by many as the first British superhero in post-World War II Britain.
I do like Constantine, Hellblazer, because he's British, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think he's quite cool. He started in the comics, then he Hellblazer comics. He's British, but he's not one of the first, though, is he? I mean, do you class him as a superhero? I don't think so. No.
I think it's one of those things, isn't it? It's how you would define it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. We should have crossovers now, shouldn't we? We should have in movies. We should have John Wick meets Jason Bourne. That'd be quite cool.
Careful.
Or John Wick. I don't know who equals John Wick in movie terms. Oh, John Wick meets Ethan Hunt. That would be excellent. Imagine having a movie with those two in it. That would be
Here's
so
one for
much
DJ.
fun.
John Wick meets Ash from the Evil Dead.
Yeah. There you go, Father. See, I'll put this one in the private chat. This is accordingly. Why is it not allowing me to actually do it right?
Funny enough, I don't know if you remember.
Oh, easy.
Accordingly, Father, this is actually Britain's first superhero, 1954.
Oh, right.
Oh, hey, let me bring that up.
Oh, he looks like a doofus.
Ah.
There you go. He looks very stupid with his MM on his chest.
Mickey Mouse. Marvel Man.
That does look like the emblem for
Speaking
Danger
of
Man.
which, is anybody gonna go see Shazam when it comes out?
Shazam.
No.
I might do. No,
I thought the last one was okay. I didn't think it was over the top.
no.
No, I quite
The
like the
fact
first
that they
one.
had to actually his first movie, and what did they do? They teamed him up with everybody else, and I thought it's Shazam. I don't care about the rest of them. I want to see Shazam.
Exactly.
So why bring all the rest of them in? So
Then-
to me,
then he
it
came at
says
the ending.
Shazam's not good enough. I know, but it was still that's them already setting up. There you go. Here's Shazam, but there's the rest of them as well.
I thought it was okay. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun personally, but
Ooh,
that's just
Lord
me.
Goth with an interesting comment.
Scott Ernson versus Uma Thurman. Uma Thurman is not. Have you seen what she looks like now? She looks very different now. She's a lot older, obviously. She looks. Have you seen a picture of Gene Hackman? He's 92.
He looks better than
Still
Madonna
going
does.
strong.
Yeah.
He looks a lot better than Madonna does right now.
Oh, God. Yeah.
But all I can say,
in all fairness, my dogs do as well.
all I can say about Gene Hackman, he'd be forever Lex Luthor and
would.
also Popeye Doyle.
Yeah. Gene Hackman's a powerful actor. Anything
Yeah,
he's in, he always has presence. Or anything that he's
I'm
in.
going to ask, do you think he retired at the right time?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
What
You
was his
imagine
last movie? Was it Unforgiven?
Welcome to Mooseport.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Never saw it, but I heard
He had to
about
make
it.
a bomb. He had to make a bomb to go out with a blaze of glory.
You know what? Right, I watched Runaway Jury a couple of
Mhm.
nights ago. It was on Netflix, and he's in it, and he steals every scene. So the guy, he's a really good actor. He really,
Yeah.
even in something like the Royal Tenenbaums, when
Yeah.
he was in that, his performance was fantastic.
Don't forget
You
Crimson Tide.
You look at his Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Over the top, hammed it up. But did he not steal the show? he
He
basically
did
was-
steal a show. He did.
He stole it. Yeah, he hammed it up, and he just looked as if he was chewing the scenery, and he was just seemed to be enjoying himself, just playing this over the top character.
Remember, PJ, he had topped billing for the first Superman movie next to Marlon
Yeah.
Brando, and Christopher Reeve wasn't even thought about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at him though. I mean, usually when Hollywood stars get to that age, they're all fat and bloaty, and you know what I mean, can't move. But he still looks fit. He's still walking around. He's in his 90s. So
Well, they said he
God
was
bless
shoveling.
him. Sorry.
They said he was working in his garden shoveling stuff.
Well, there you go. I mean, God bless him.
Yeah.
It's-
All I can say is just leave the guy alone. He's just enjoying his retirement and getting on with life.
yeah, he
Well, same
is.
thing with Bruce Willis. Going back to
Yeah,
him.
I actually feel sorry for Bruce.
Yeah,
I actually feel sorry for him.
yeah, he's been struck down in his prime like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did give some fantastic movies, though. Let's face it, Bruce is someone that you can't underestimate. He was as far as I'm concerned, he's a good actor, and
Especially-
he's a bit of a
Yeah,
you know,
especially
but
the iconic words "yippee ki but I'm not saying the rest.
yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
Yeah. And I mean, I just like Gene Hackman's Popeye Doyle. I don't know where I feel the need.
PJ,
French-
quick, jump in the car and try and
French Connection is one of the best movies
Yeah.
ever made, in my
See,
opinion.
now it makes me want to see the streets of San Francisco.
French Connection, baby.
Yeah,
there
French
it is.
Connection.
French
yeah.
Connection is a superb movie.
I was
It is a good
going to
movie.
ask your opinion. What did you think of the second one?
I thought the second one was okay, but the reason why the first one feels so real is because they didn't have a there was no script. They made up
Yeah.
as they went along. French
Yeah.
Connection, apparently.
Are you glad they got the guy in the end? It's just that last
The
moment.
second,
where
the
he
second
chased-
one they got him.
Yeah, he was trying to chase him, and he just gunned him down.
Yeah, the frog.
Yeah.
He got the frog at the ending in the second one. In the first one, he got away, and Popeye Doyle shot someone. You know, it wasn't accidentally, but he
But
was
the
so
thing is,
obsessed.
the question was, who did he shoot?
I think it was a policeman he shot. you know, he thought it was him, but he shot him. But yeah, it's a good movie. The first one. The second one was more structured though, with you know, them putting, you know, I think they were injecting drugs in him and stuff like that. And
I think William Friedkin wasn't in. Like,
no, it was the other director. William Friedkin directed the first one.
Was French Connection? It was. I don't know if it was the one they were writing it as they were filming it.
No, yeah, the first one, and it won best screenplay. Would you believe? So
and they were actually filming it on the roads.
Yeah, but Gene Hackman got so peed off with the director that he stormed off the sets. And you remember that scene where they pick on the guy in the beginning?
Yeah,
they push him up against the thing, and they said, you know, have you been to Poughkeepsie and all that stuff? Do you pick your toes or whatever? Remember that scene? But it was freezing in New York, and Gene Hackman got peed and just left the set, and so they wasted the whole day. Look, that if you read that book, or is that a book?
The most iconic.
If you read it, you'll find out what actually happened. That car chase wasn't even staged; it was done for real. Didn't even tell New York or anything. They just drove that car as fast as they can under that bridge. So it was cranked. It was cranked, obviously, the speed of the film, but it was great, absolutely great. You know, so old-fashioned filmmaking in those days.
Exactly.
You know? No CGI shots required.
No, none whatsoever. So.
Yeah, I'm just so glad we know people who do things like that just nowadays, where no CGI, they just do it all live action and stuff like that. You know anybody like that, Ian?
No. Don't know anyone like that.
Not anymore.
You know, as I said, it's really funny. I think the originality. Look, I hate to be an old man. I think originality is now gone throughout entertainment. Everything's been done, but the only thing you can do is take something that's been done and twist it slightly and then present it in another manner. But as far as I'm concerned, originality when it comes to music, films, TV, it's all been done, and people are just telling the same story but saying it in a different way.
Is it not the 7 stories? There's only 7 stories you can tell, and it's just how you tell it again.
I mean,
there's only 7 stories out there. You can just tell the variations of the same stories.
Do you see that comedian PJ? He was talking about how Harry Potter's not original. He goes, it's a rip-off of Star Wars, and he went through everything. So basically, he went, Harry Potter's is an orphan, and so is Luke. He goes to live with his uncle. So does Luke. Luke meets an older guy with a beard. So does Harry Potter. When Harry Potter goes to the school, he meets Dumbledore, which is like it basically teaches him stuff. Luke goes to Dagobah, meets Yoda, and he went through the whole film, and it's like everything they did in Star Wars, Harry Potter did. So he's got a point. He's got a point.
Or to put it another way, they both follow the classic hero's journey.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. So you've got the same story, but then you've also got things like the Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah, well, that was a rip-off.
The Magnificent Seven and the Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
They're effectively the same story, but
done in a different way.
That's the thing. That's why they say there's only 7 stories. You're just having to tell the same story over and over again a different way.
In Harry Potter, right? Hermione, it looks like she liked Harry, just like Luke liked his sister, and then Hermione goes off with his best friend, and Princess Leia goes off with Han Solo, which is Luke's best friend. So it's all the same thing, isn't it? It's like mirrors it
because they're not brother and sister.
Well, apart from that bit, obviously,
that's a pretty big thing.
No, it's
but
not.
Initially, they weren't brother and sister.
No, they weren't. I know.
Yeah, because Empire Strikes Back wasn't supposed to be Empire Strikes Back.
But it's 3 of them, right?
The Doctor's not half human in his mother's side.
You can tell it's not, because the first Star Wars novel was Splinter in the Mind's Eye. It wasn't any of the Star Wars expanded universe ones by Alan Dean Foster. No. And there are bits in that where if you've seen the films where they are what I anticipate, you sort of start going, ew.
Well,
because obviously, if Lucas had already decided everything, but he didn't tell Alan Dean Foster that
Well, he didn't, did he?
No, so, yeah.
But he didn't, did he? Because like, what is it? We used to get the cards, Star Wars cards. Anybody used to get the blue ones and the red ones with the bubble gum Star Wars cards, PJ?
I know the thing. I never had any, but I know them because
Right. So I think it was the blue one at the back. It had a picture of Darth Vader. At the back, it said Darth Vader, right? Fell in a vat of liquid. That's why he wears a mask. And it's absolutely nothing like the origin we get, you know, throughout the thing. Because obviously Star Wars just came out and were making up things. So as I say, if you have one of those cards, I guess it's worth a lot of money with the origin of Darth Vader behind it. So you didn't used to collect the cards, PJ?
No. I never used to collect cards. I had. I can't even remember the cards. My brother used to collect the football ones. Remember Pirelli cards? He used to collect those. And I had. I can't even remember. It's that long ago, but I had it was comic book.
There you go.
It was character cards.
There you go. Star Wars cards. I used to have them. I remember I went to Forbidden Planet.
Oh, wait a minute. I did have them.
Yeah, there you go.
They had the picture on the other side, 9 of them made
yes.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did have them. Yeah,
So
as soon as I saw them, I'm thinking of the smaller ones, the cigarette cards, but no, I did have them in the picture in the back. I used to sort of sellotape them.
Yeah.
And put them up the wall.
they had the blue ones and the red ones they used to have. I remember in the old days of Forbidden Planet, you know, when Forbidden Planet was in the West End, they used to go there and they used to actually have the whole cards. Yeah, they used to have the whole pack, right?
Yeah.
And they used to sell it for a lot of money. So they would open up them and find all the pictures and stuff and sell it as a pack. I remember buying that once, but I don't know where they've gone. The blue ones and the red ones.
In hindsight, I said it was because I had all the. I used to collect when they started doing them, the 2000 AD ones as well.
Yeah, I had some of them as well.
I've still got them. They're actually sitting up my shelf there. So
if I knew they was going to be worth something, I would have kept them. You know, I would have definitely kept them. So I have the Star Wars toys as well.
I've got Babylon 5 ones. I've got 2000 AD ones. I've got Doctor Who ones coming out my ear.
I had the Robocop gun and I lost it. We used it on a film and somebody stole it. So that was annoying. But it was kind of, you know, real heavy. You know, so
well, I was going to say you're never too old to own a lightsaber.
Excellent.
Especially when I've got it's a double one.
Or a lawgiver.
Yeah, it's true.
What have you got? I haven't even got half the stuff you guys have got. I really have.
Yeah, and if you see at the back, Ian, he's got one blue Dalek that I gave him and one silver Dalek I gave him, and he won't let me have the special weapons Dalek.
I've only got one special weapon. Well, I've got two, but I've got one which is that side, and I've got the small one.
You've got Spock.
Yeah, I did see him, and I've got.
Well,
you want to see my plushie or soft toy? See this one.
Okay. Well, I've got a Dalek here that's been sitting on the shelf.
Dad's Army.
Is that Dad's Army?
Dad's Army.
Dad's Army. That's Corporal Jones.
Well, I was going to say I've got a Dalek that's been sitting. Once he's finished, I've had a Dalek sitting on the shelf for a long time.
Right.
And I don't know why the hell I gave it 2 plungers.
That might be worth a lot of money.
Yeah, but this is I'm going to get this professionally resprayed.
Is this? Let me guess. That's the one that was in that picture with Katie Manning.
No,
I know why it's got 2 plungers.
Yeah, I know why it's got 2 plungers as well.
Clean the toilet.
Well,
yes, Ian, clean the toilet. Honestly,
this one is I'm going to try and get someone to respray it professionally and put the gun back because you know the Doctor Who book Mutation of Time. You had the red Dalek at the front.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I wanted it to turn into. So
the red Dalek.
Yeah, I wanted it to become a red Dalek.
I'll send you contact details of a guy.
You know, every time Yeah, every time you say that, when you were saying you're going to get someone to respray like that one, you're going to say to respray it. It reminds me of Toy Story. Do you remember that guy in Toy Story where he got and he was respraying, respraying? What's his name?
Because the thing is,
Woody. Yeah.
I've got the black Dalek, but it doesn't feel right without the red.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It doesn't feel right. So hopefully one day.
Yeah, there's a guy up here I see at most Comic Cons, and I've got that's where I got my Viper from. He actually built it and done it with the Apollo one side and Starbuck on the other. So
my friend built the Sulaco, and he built it for someone, and I went around his house and I saw it, and it was absolutely amazing. It was like this big. It really was. Like, I don't know what scale it was, but I said to him, you actually going to give it to this guy? And he goes, yeah, the guy paid for it. I'm like, oh, such a shame, because that would make a really good, you know what I mean? It was really good the way he built it.
Colin, do you remember the time when we was round gyms and I wanted to take away Ming the Merciless away from him?
Yeah, Ming the Merciless.
Yeah.
Well, I got my one, and I've actually put them down here. Ash. I got my Ash from Big Chief.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And so I'm waiting for my Laurel and Hardy to come, but I've still got another 5-6 months, and I got that. And I'd ordered them last February.
So those statues, PJ, of Laurel and Hardy that I sent you, the picture of that I saw in an antique mall. Those things were cool. They were $100 altogether.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I do like collecting stuff.
Yeah.
I've got they're up there. There's Laurel and Hardy. I've also got 2 puppets up there. I just had one of the leg get smashed, and I got that repaired. And then my friend sewed it all back together, and now I've got to dye the jacket and I've got to dye the trousers to bring it all back together.
There's one thing I saw on eBay that I'd really like to get. It's basically a frame, and it has an American police badge in the middle, and at the bottom it says "just one more thing." So it's Columbo's. Columbo's what you call it, a badge, his lieutenant's badge. I'd love to get that. I think it was like 100 and something quid for it. So I'd love to get that.
I've been looking for something, but I've told the only person on this panel who can get it is Colin.
What's that?
You have to be a reenactor in order a reenactor group to get it.
Oh.
Obviously, in the States, you probably could get it as well. You just don't need to be a reenactor because you got better. But over in the UK, you have to be a reenactor, or you have to be a film in the film industry to get it as a prop.
What to get it? It's a gun, is it? Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I can get a wooden one. I can get a wooden one, but
so what is it from a movie? The weapon? No.
Well, technically, yes, it's from a lot of movies, but it's not specific for a movie. It's a Tommy gun.
Oh, is it from Bugsy Malone?
No, not a spludge gun. A Tommy gun. I basically want one because to go with. I want one. I've always wanted one. A Thompson submachine gun. I've always wanted. I could get a wooden one, and it looks okay, but I want one. It's wood and metal, and it actually. But you need to be a reenactor, and because of
I've got the original.
Need licenses for that as well.
Yeah, I've got the original. What do you call that gun that Arnold Schwarzenegger used in Last Action Hero? The big gun.
It was the one that.
Right.
No, I remember him. The one when he played in the Russian. Remember?
Yeah, what's that weapon called, Father? Do you know? The big gun.
Don't know.
It wasn't a Magnum, was it?
No, it's not a Magnum. It's
I was just going to say that reminded me of this one clip, and
Golden
I'll have to start wrapping up after that.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this?
Desert Eagle. Desert Eagle.
Desert Eagle.
Desert Eagle, yeah.
I'm going to hang on to the wooden gun. To give you back my real gun? No. We're going to give you this. It's a rape whistle. You blow that if you're in trouble, and someone, actual gun, will come and help you out.
Is it the gag that he keeps saying? He keeps mentioning the music, doesn't he? The music from, I can't remember what famous singer it was, but he kept saying lines from certain songs, didn't he? In that film.
That movie, no.
Yeah, no, it is in that movie. Michael Keaton kept saying lines
Oh,
from
yeah.
Beyonce songs, didn't he?
I don't know if it was Beyonce, but yeah.
Was it Beyonce? I can't remember. It was.
I don't remember. I don't know many Beyonce songs.
It's very funny though. Very funny.
So, but with that, I do have to start wrapping up.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries.
So I have to go see if I have stations or not. So, but I'll be on again next Friday. It's going to be St. Patrick's Day.
I'll be
So being Irish, I'm excited. I might have to trash the British a little bit though, because
that's
they
okay.
persecuted my ancestors.
That's all right.
Penal laws.
Quarter Irish,
and Scottish.
Yeah,
quarter Irish, quarter Italian.
Yeah, but how far back are you Scottish before they became Irish that came over from Scotland in the first place? Don't forget, the Scotii were a tribe from what we would now call Ireland.
Well, let's just say I'll be bashing Henry VIII.
That's all right. I don't mind if you bash
Cromwell.
him. I don't mind if I don't think he minds either because he's dead.
You're welcome to Cromwell. Did you?
Well, Cromwell's in you know where probably.
Well, did you hear about quickly when either Tony Blair or Gordon Brown, I think it was one, came into power in 10 Downing Street? One of the first things they did was they got rid of a statue of Churchill and put a statue up of.
He's gone again.
Cromwell.
Here we go. Then, with the statue of Cromwell in pride of place, they invited the Taoiseach of Ireland. Not aware exactly how the Irish feel about Cromwell.
Well, you could go pound sand.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say hello to Father Miller's students. Hello.
Yeah, I don't think they're watching.
Just in case.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Peter
So with that, I got to get going. So I thank you guys for joining me, and thank everybody
Thank
for
you for having
watching.
us, and we'll
Do it again next week.
Welcome on Let's Talk Geeky tomorrow.
PJ and I have got to go off to a fantasy realm in about 2 hours anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll be seeing everybody later.